For 25 years, I've been able to call in homes, beautiful ones, the kind that shouldn't have been available at prices that shouldn't have worked. And people always ask me, how? This year, I understood the answer at a level I had never understood before. And it changed everything, not just about how I manifest what I want, but how I move through what I fear. So let me tell you what happened. Welcome to the Soulcraft Your Life podcast. My name is Carmen Marshall, and I'm a life design and manifestation expert, a 7-figure entrepreneur, wellness educator, and a dance teacher. And I'm passionate about helping you create a magical and fulfilling life. Whether you want to discover your purpose, learn how to attract financial abundance, or create more health, balance, joy, and connection in your life, the Soulcraft Your Life podcast has got you covered. 1 part strategy and 1 part soul. Each week we explore both the practical and the spiritual with intriguing experts and fascinating human beings, all sharing their wisdom to help expand what we think is possible for our own lives. The goal? To help you create a life you love on your own terms that stems from your soul. Let's dive in and discover what this life has to offer each of us. Hello, gorgeous souls. Welcome back. I'm Carmen, and this is the Soulcraft Your Life podcast. If you're new here, I'm the founder of Soulcraft and the creator of Soul Architecture, and the work that I do lives at the intersection of identity, nervous system, and life design. Big words, I know. But really, it all comes down to one thing: becoming someone who can both create and hold the life that you truly want. And today, I want to talk about something that's been alive for me lately. Something that I think might be one of the most important things that I've ever understood about manifestation. Let's get into it. So, homes. If you've been in my world for a while, you know this about me. I have a thing with homes. I love them. I dream about them. And the word sanctuary is one of my core values. It's part of my authentic code. And somehow, my whole life, I've been able to call in the most special spaces. There was the cliff house in Maui that I literally found by following a rainbow, the villa in Bali, Tree Moon, that I loved with my whole heart, and since 2020, here in Noosa, rentals that they would just appear at exactly the right moment in exactly the right way, when the market said that they absolutely should not have, because rentals are really hard to come by in Noosa. So people ask me all the time, Carmen, how do you do that? And for years, my answer has always been, I feel like it's mine before it arrives. I put images on my screensavers and I let myself feel what it would be like to already live in the homes. I get clear, I listen to the pings, I take aligned action. So essentially everything that I teach you inside Create Your Dream Year. And then the homes come. And that's true. That's real. That's manifestation the way I've always known it and I've always taught it. But here's what I've never understood until this past month. And it's a thing that I really want to share with you today. Here's what I realized. For my entire life, I use these manifestation principles for desire, for beautiful things, for the homes, the experiences, and really the things that were easy to want and really easy to feel good about. But what I'd never done, at least not consciously, was use them for the things that scared me. Until this year, of course, life gave me the perfect opportunity to learn this. So some of you know that I've been navigating a visa situation here in Australia, and the not knowing has been really hard. Will I be able to stay in a country that I just love? Will I have to leave? How do I sign a lease? How do I put down a life? How do I continue to put down roots when there's this giant question mark over whether I can even stay? And for the past months especially, this worry has just sat like a low hum of dread on my chest. So I did what I'm really good at and what most of us do. I got into action. So I researched, I got advice from everyone I knew and a few people I didn't. I tried to control every variable. I tried to think my way to safety. And none of it was getting me any closer to a resolution. And time was really ticking. The visa that I was on was going to end. So one day, instead of trying to manage it, instead of trying to fix it, instead of trying to control it, I did something different. I went underneath of it and I asked myself, what is this really touching in me? what is this really bringing up? What am I actually anxious about, truly? And the answer came so fast. Safety. Not do I have a visa safety, something so much older than that. And it's the same place that got shaken last year when Tree Moon flooded not once, but twice in Bali. And I had to let go a home that I just loved. Literally, when the ground I thought was solid just was not solid. And this is the kicker. Looking back to my childhood, because these things always have a root in our childhood. This was a time when my whole family moved a lot. And I was having the same feeling, this longing for safety, stability, and security. So this visa thing was pressing on that exact same nerve. And this is what's so interesting when we look at our life. We can see these through lines of where we get triggered or where we have fears. Often they can get traced back to something that was in our, well, can still be in our adulthood, but in our teenagehood, and then especially in our childhood. And that nerve was, am I safe? Is the ground going to hold? Can I trust that I'll be okay? And here's what changed everything for me. I realized that my safety didn't actually depend on the outcome. Because when I look over my whole life, I can see moment after moment that felt completely uncertain, terrifying even, like in Bali. And then it worked out. And often more beautifully than I could have planned. For example, everything that happened in Bali brought me back here to Australia, which has been the best thing ever. So often, and I can see this so much in my life, and I'm sure you can too when you look at the whole picture, the endings become even better new starts. And that beautiful saying that, when one door opens, one door closes, another one opens. And it's so true. And all the times that I was sure it was falling apart, it was actually falling into place. So I thought, what if I could give myself what I'm longing for now? What if I could give myself that feeling of safety right now? Not when the visa comes through, because who knows how long that's going to take. Not when the lease is signed. Not when the ground finally feels solid. But now, before anything changes. So let me tell you what I actually did, because this is the part that I really want you to be able to use too. So I didn't pretend that I wasn't worried, because this isn't quote unquote positive thinking. It's not slapping a good vibes only sticker over real fear, because we all have these fears and these anxieties. And it's really important that we just don't slap a Band-Aid on it and try to go on, because they're always going to come up through that Band-Aid. What I did was meet the fear. So what does that mean? Well, what that means is I allowed it, I let it be acknowledged, and that it was okay to be anxious. So I wasn't making my fear wrong, because who wouldn't be anxious? So I was letting the fear have a voice and allowing it to be without judgment. And then underneath of it, I gave myself the very thing I was waiting for the outcome to give me. And how I did that is I just sat with myself. I put a hand on my heart, hand on my belly, and I just said, we have always been okay, right? We're okay right now in this present moment. We're completely safe. Our safety isn't out there. It's here. I've got you. We're always going to be okay. We will always find a way. And look at all the evidence of how things have always worked out. So I want to name what's actually happening there, because this is the principle. I've always taught, and I know you've heard this too, we manifest by becoming a vibrational match for what we want, by embodying the frequency of the outcome that we're calling in. But what I've never fully understood, and maybe you have had this feeling too, is how do you become that match? How do you become that vibrational match for the thing that you want? Well, you self-source it. You in-source the very thing that you think the outcome will give you. So you name what you're really wanting to feel, what you're longing to feel, what you've been waiting to feel, and you give it to yourself now. From the inside, you in-source the feeling that you want, and that's how you become a vibrational match. Isn't that crazy? When I realized this, I was like, oh my goodness, that's how we become a vibrational match for the thing that we think will give it to us in the future. So I had the evidence with homes. What I was self-sourcing without even realizing it was the feeling of home, of being settled, of being held, of feeling like I was there before it even arrived. I saw myself living in each of the homes I wanted to live in. And then with this year's fear, what I needed to do is in-source safety. So that's what I gave myself. I'm safe. We're safe. We've always been safe. And here's the thing. It works the exact same way for what you want and what you fear. Because under each fear is always this longing, this deeper desire. Underneath the fear, what if I have to leave Australia, was simply, I want to feel safe. So you name the longing, you in-source it in the present moment. And once I saw this, I understood the block too. Because when we're braced, so when we're anxious, when we're frustrated, we grip, we're waiting for proof, and we're actually refusing to let ourselves feel okay until the outcome arrives. So we're actually doing the opposite of self-sourcing. We're like unmanifesting. We're pushing the manifestation away because we're waiting. We're waiting to feel the thing that we think the thing will give us. And the waiting keeps us in it, in the current experience, and it pushes what we want to manifest even further out. So the wanting was never the block. The waiting for the outcome to manifest instead of in-sourcing the desired feeling, which creates the vibrational match, that was the block. The waiting for the outcome to produce the feeling, that was the block. So what happened? You're probably like, did you get the visa? Well, first I changed. I became more settled, more steady. I could move through this whole situation with some emotional balance instead of spiraling every time I thought about it. But then things started to open. A lease came through that worked with exactly the timing that I needed. It wasn't furnished, but a friend happened to have a whole household of furniture that she needed to store. Of course she did, right? Incredible. And the visa, there are alternatives being worked out right now that I didn't even know existed. So I want to be honest with you. It's not all neatly resolved. It's still literally unfolding as I'm recording this, but I moved from dread to trust. And from that place, not only did I feel 1,000 times better, and that would have been just a gift in and of itself, but things began to move. So here's what I want to leave you with. Whatever you're reaching for right now, underneath of it all, if you can name it, is it safety, love, belonging, self-worth, peace, freedom? You don't have to wait for the proof. You don't have to wait for the ground to feel solid or for the outcome to arrive. You can give yourself that experience now. And that's not pretending, it's not bypassing. It's the exact place from which things actually begin to shift because you're becoming the vibrational match for the thing that you want. So I'll leave you with a couple of questions, and maybe you can sit with these this week. What are you really wanting to feel? What are you waiting to feel? What are you longing for? Safety, love, feeling settled, enough, freedom. What is it that you've been waiting for some outcome to give you? And what might change if you gave yourself that experience now? So if you insourced the very thing that you've been longing for in this moment, right now, what might change? Okay, gorgeous souls, here's what I would love you to do. Take one aha from today, share it on your story, and tag me on Instagram at Carmen_Marshall. I reshare my favorites every week, and these messages are honestly the best part of doing this podcast. And if this episode spoke to you, do me a kindness, follow the show so you don't miss what's coming. And if someone came to mind while you were listening, send it to them. Sometimes the right words just find us exactly when we need them. And until next time, don't wait. Give yourself the thing that you've been longing for. All my love, and I will connect with you on the next podcast. Thank you so much for listening. And if you enjoyed this episode, I'd absolutely love if you left a review on iTunes. It really helps me to get the podcast out there to support more people just like you to create soulful lives. And as a thank you, I'd love to send you my 20 personal affirmations for manifesting an aligned, magical, and fulfilling life. To access this freebie, simply send a screenshot of your review to soulcraft@carmenmarshall.com, and I'll send you my favorite affirmations and mantras straight to your inbox. All my love, and I'll see you on the next episode.